Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Prairie Madonna. I'm here with the lovely crypto stylist. Well,
Hi.
welcome to the channel where we dive into the best of PulseChain. Whether you're a beginner or looking to go deep, we've got the insights, the connections, the strategies, and the numbers to show you where the real growth is happening. So hit the like and sub right now, and let's get into it. Crypto stylist, how you doing today?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you?
Wonderful. I'm doing well. It's early in the morning, so it's a little difficult to tell, but so far the day is going well. I haven't hit a deer with my car like I did yesterday.
Oh
That's how my,
gosh.
that's how my day started yesterday.
Oh
But
gosh.
it's just a small dent, thankfully.
Okay. And the deer is not
Not well.
okay, not well. Okay.
No. So,
Oh.
but anyhow, yeah, the day's going better. And
Okay.
we're going to talk about this mail piece that people are getting in the mail. And chances are, if you landed on this video, it's because you got a package in the mail with an electronic device, which is like an Etch-a-Sketch, which might be useful for putting your grocery list on or handing to your child to make some art or whatever. But anyhow, you got this mail piece and you might be wondering, who's it from? What's it for? Well, obviously it says on there, go to hacks.com, pulsechain.com, get rich and all that stuff. And then you land on this video because you wanted to learn more. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about who gave you the mail piece and what he is and what and some of the sites that you're being directed towards. So, Crypto Styles, how about you talk a little bit about Richard Hart?
So Richard Hart is the founder of PulseChain. PulseChain is a layer one that just launched in May of 2023. It's just over 2 years old, 2.5 years old. Has had zero downtime. Richard Hart is a very controversial figure. I've had the pleasure of meeting him, spending a lot of time with him, but he's a very good man. He just does this he went through this whole phase of outrage marketing during the last cycle, so during the last bull run. And there's a lot of memes of him carrying multiple Louis Vuitton bags. I work in fashion, so we went shopping together. I wasn't in part of these memes though. And with him just head to toe decked out in designer logo clothing. And that's put a lot of people off. But he did that as a way, it's a marketing tactic. It's a way to get attention, to get people to talk about him. He talked
Yes.
about how he tried to wear a suit and be intelligent and be nice and just be a good person and just talk the talk, and nobody paid attention to him at all. So he just went a different way. So that being said, what he stands for is he really wants to revolutionize the financial system, not only through crypto, but within cryptocurrency. He really believes in true decentralization, no middleman, no counterparty risk, not your keys, not your coins. He's really believes that it's all about self-custody, about having control, about having the freedom to transact, being able to send your money anytime that you want, not having to worry about limits, the limits that the banks will set. I live in a foreign country. For me to send money, wire money to America, you would think that they would think that I'm starting a war. If I try to send more than a few $1,000s at a time, it
Wow.
is crazy. And it's so many restrictions, and it's my money. I should be able to do what I want with it. And that's what cryptocurrency enables. And that's what Richard Hart believes in. So, and he is, in my opinion, a very trustworthy, highly intelligent, with exceptional integrity of a man, even though you just got to look past the controversy.
Yeah. He's one of those guys that either you really love him or you might not like him. When he walks in the room, I think he's noticed, like, he's one of those people that has such a big personality that that when he walks in, everybody knows somebody walked in the room, and he will command a room too.
Yeah, I was in Selfridges because he came to London for the second year anniversary of of Hex. And that's actually his original project was Hex, and it's a CD on the blockchain. And he launched that on the Ethereum network. And it was the second anniversary party in London. I lived there at the time. I don't live there anymore. And we were in the Louis Vuitton store at Selfridges. And he's like, yeah, I already have that. I already have that. I already have that. Do you have that in this color? And then he already had everything in the store, and they walked out. And the manager was like, "Who is that guy? I feel like he has a lot of money."
You might be right.
I was like, "Yeah, he's got a little bit. He's got a little bit of extra cash, a little bit of extra spending money."
More than he could spend in his entire life.
Yeah,
And
he's self-made. He's
yeah.
self-made.
And he wants
So
to make other millionaires. Like
he does.
he's been quoted as saying, "I want to make a million
Mhm.
millionaires." And by the way, there's only 58 million millionaires in the world today. I did the math this week. And he wants to make a million more. That's
Oh,
a big chunk.
yeah,
That's
that's
a sizable percentage.
1.5%. Wow. Yeah,
And
I think that he, if anybody can do it with what he's got, I believe that he's totally capable. And let's see what he has, all the tools, he has the resources, and he has the marketing know-how. He has timing. He has a lot of time in the markets, a lot of experience. So we have a shot. We have a shot at him making his dream come true of making a million millionaires.
absolutely. And so his intention, I think that his method of doing that is Hex. I think he probably intended to do that with Hex over on Ethereum, and he made several millionaires with Hex. But the unstaking of Hex fees over on Ethereum became so expensive. He's like, I'm going to make my own blockchain. So he forked Ethereum, and now he has his own blockchain called PulseChain, which he is trying to draw the world's eyeballs to come over to PulseChain. It's a faster network, it's cheaper, and it's, as opposed to Ethereum, we call it the like the institutional chain, right? It's the chain for all the institutions and the corporations, the big guys, right? PulseChain is more so the people's chain. And he's clearly trying to bring people over here. He's doing a massive worldwide mailing campaign to draw eyeballs to PulseChain. So this
It's
is,
rumored to be how many tablets now? I've heard up to 14 million of these tablets will be circulated in the next year, which is
yeah,
that's just an incredible undertaking. Not only there's these tablets have been sent in shipping containers, and then now are being distributed through a nonprofit through RG3. RG3 is a nonprofit, Roy's, and it is really making a lot of noise on X. Did you
yes,
see the latest girl? She's actually Asian girl,
yeah,
from San Francisco. Kim, I think is her name, and
I think
she
so.
posted something, and my God, she got like thousands of likes. And my Twitter was just every time it was just a repost after repost after repost. Like my
Yeah,
Twitter feed's filled with her doing the video. So because our community is so strong and we're so loud and we're so sticky that when somebody posts about it, it gets picked up, and boy, does that go viral. And that's
yes,
another thing, is that, that's a real asset to this project is the community. So where there's a few 100,000 of us, when Richard he raised money. It was like, it was called a sacrifice, but it was raising money for PulseChain for the Genesis pre-launch. And he raised almost $1 billion. So that's the
mhm,
power that this person has. And that's the power and the financial backing and the strength that we have as a community. Not only there's a large number of us, but we are like an army. So we're like, I really liken us a lot to the XRP army. So if we're younger, and for how young we are and how much noise we're able to make, it really is so impressive. And that is value, because that adds value to the project.
yes, yeah. And what does that mean for anybody for the people that are that are receiving these devices? We're at the beginning of this mailing campaign. It's been going on for probably 3 to 4 weeks, and it's going to be ongoing. Like, I think I have heard like 50 shipping containers. I've heard the same numbers as you, 10 to 14 million, maybe more.
Mhm,
And we're at the beginning of this thing. So, and
mhm.
I've done the maths. I did a survey, and I've done the math on the potential impact of the price of people coming onto the blockchain. And I can tell you, we are at the bottom of PulseChain. I don't think we're going any lower. The opportunity right now far outshines in my not financial advice opinion, where the opportunity is going to be for the last people to receive these devices. So time is of the essence. And I'm onboarding a buddy of mine to crypto here in the next week or so, hopefully soon. And I'm like, boy, you're getting in at the bottom of a layer one that's going into its first cycle. And by the way, let's talk about this. I did a little experiment just to give the audience some idea what could happen with PulseChain on this first cycle. Ethereum launches in 2015. Day one, it runs up to $2.70. After 2 months, I think 6 to 8 weeks, it's down to 40 cents. If you bought it at 40 cents, okay, and then you got your bag of 40-cent Ethereum. And by the way, now it's like $4,500. Okay, you got 40-cent Ethereum, and then it went into its first bull run, and it ran up to $1,400 some odd dollars. The X's on that was
14,000.
14.
From the all-time low to the all-time, well, the last cycle's all-time high. So it's done a higher than that. Is a 14,000x. It did a 14,000x.
Correct. But its first cycle, it did 11,120. Wow. Yeah. Wow. So if you'd caught the bottom, which hardly anybody does, and sold the top, that you'd turned $1 into $11,120. That's Ethereum. PulseChain, on the other hand, launches, and we are at the bottom. We are figuratively at that 40-cent mark, maybe 50 cent. Okay. No guarantees that PulseChain is going to do the same or even similar that Ethereum did, but we are embarking on a massive marketing campaign, and we have a deca-billionaire founder who is intent on pumping his chain, making sure his chain pumps. So, I mean, nobody knows.
There's also the fact now, Prairie, that not only are there a lot larger number of people who are getting into crypto, there is a mass adoption coming, because as of right now, it's only 6.5% of the population are participating in crypto. And most of those people are doing it on a very small level. But we also have institutions. ETFs are being approved every single day. Yes. And now it's becoming just a part of the fabric of the whole traditional finance system. You're allowed now to use to invest in the risk-on assets into cryptocurrency in your retirement account. Trump allowed that. That's about $12 trillion. That's available where people could put money into cryptocurrency if they so feel like. So of $12.5 trillion, if only 1% of that money was invested into cryptocurrency, that's $125 billion that's invested into crypto. What that would do is unbelievable. But more than that, the institutions are the ones really going to move the dial.
Yeah, so there are companies scooping up Bitcoin and Ethereum like there's no tomorrow. I mean, they have lofty goals of accumulation. I kid you not. I've been hearing about it from somebody on YouTube who has the evidence, and yeah, everything's lining up for this to be a very bullish upcycle. And by the way, I think we're coming out of the bear market, which is the down market. We're going into the bull run, which is the up market here very soon. So, just to make it really simple, crypto runs in a 4-year cycle. You have 3 years of bear market and 1 year of up cycle. And we're going into that 1 year of upcycle. It might be 6 months. The alt season is I think like 3 to 6 months, and we're probably at the very cusp of it. So, yeah, there's massive opportunity right now on PulseChain and on some of the tokens that are on PulseChain. So,
Prairie, should we pull up the site, the pulsechain.com site, so we can go through and just introduce what PulseChain is, show the chart, and then also there's just some resources on how to buy PulseChain, on where to do so?
Let's do it.
Okay.
PulseChain.com. Here we go. So yeah, how do we get onto PulseChain? Well, there's a number of different ways that you can get onto PulseChain. If you scroll down, you're going to have a hot wallet. And you and I have talked about a couple different wallets, Rabby wallet, Internet Money wallet, and there are some others here. But here's Internet Money wallet, for example. You click on here, you load Internet Money wallet onto your browser. It'll be an extension, and then you'll have what we call a hot wallet. And your hot wallet will have an address in it that you can send crypto to. So how do you get the crypto? Well, you come down here and you can, let's see, this button here actually brings you to OX Coast. This trading on PulseX.
Can I make a comment? Can I make
Absolutely.
a security comment, Prairie?
Yeah.
So when you are, if you are new to crypto and you are trying to get onto Internet Money wallet site to download the wallet, or to go onto OX Coast to figure out how to on-ramp and how to buy crypto and get it onto the network, please, whatever you do not Google. Do not Google, because then there are fake sites that will come up and you will lose everything. And it's so dangerous. So go onto a site that's trusted, such as pulsechain.com, and click directly from the site and then bookmark it. So that when you go back, never, ever, ever Google and try to look for the resource, because there's a fake phishing or wallet drainer will be the top one on many, many occasions. And you'll click on that and you'll lose everything. So it's really, really important.
Good point. I'm glad you brought that up, because somebody reached out to me the week before last, and they got their wallet drained because they went to DuckDuckGo and was looking for the PulseChain bridge, and they got drained. So yeah, you come here and you can select ramp now, which will pop up. You guys can't see it. I just clicked on it, but you can literally swap from USD or whatever currency you use in your country to PLS, and it'll go straight to your wallet. Because what you will do when you click on this is that you will input your wallet address, which you get from your Internet Money wallet or whatever wallet you choose to use. So you select it in your Internet Money wallet, you paste it in when you're transacting, when you're actually buying the currency, the Pulse, and then once you buy it, it will send Pulse to your wallet, and then you'll have what we call the layer. What do you call it? The layer 1 coin. You'll have PulseChain in your wallet at that point.
The native token, the native gas token.
Thank you. Yes. And there might be limits about for how much you can perhaps buy, depending on where you live in the world. But yeah, like what Stylist said, bookmark this page, do your transactions from this page until you know more. And I actually created a Telegram you guys can jump into. I'll put it in the chat. And if you have any questions or want to interact with myself and other community members, jump in that Telegram and you can ask any questions. And the Telegram link is also in the description of this video, because there's more. There's so much more to onboarding than what we're showing you right now. I mean, there's many different ways you could come on board. But once you do come on to PulseChain, how do I put this, Stylist? You and I are involved in an index token on PulseChain that is a very exciting token. And we encourage, even if we weren't holding this token, even if we didn't own it, we would still, I think you would agree with this, as an outsider, for people coming new into PulseChain, I think I'd be like, why don't you just hold that token? Because you can buy, this token's name is PTGC. That's the ticker symbol. And then UFO, its brother token. You can literally hold either of those assets and have exposure to the best assets on PulseChain, which are mainly the core Richard Hart assets, which are his hex, which was copied over with the forks, with the fork, Pulse, which is the layer 1, Pulse X, which is the DEX, and Inc, the incentive token. So by holding one asset, you have exposure to those 4 core and others. Would you agree with that, Stylist?
I totally agree. I think that it's a good way, because a lot of people ask me, should I do Pulse or Pulse X or Inc? I think that you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with any of the 4. Not financial advice, but that's just my opinion. I do hold all 4, but for those who are just really confused and who just have a small sum of money or just want to, dip their toe in, if you want to have exposure to all of them, then investing in PTGC is a very good call. And not to mention that if you were to go and look at the price, the chart, it speaks for itself. It's one of the most beautiful charts I have ever seen in crypto.
Yeah.
This really is a very, very strong project. The community is so strong, so passionate, so smart, and we're super early. And so I think that the Richard Hart tokens, so Pulse, PulseX, Inc, and Hex, are all excellent investments. And then if you want exposure to all 4, there's PTGC and also there's UFO. So these are the Grays currencies that are a leverage play on the Richard Hart ecosystem.
Which you can learn more about in the Telegram group that I've set up. And literally the Grays currencies, PTGC and UFO, are moving up against those 4 core assets, like outperforming them. So, yeah.
I'm definitely worth taking a look at. Yeah, this is an interesting comment.
Yeah, the post comparison to ETH all-time high to the current PulseChain dip and holding $1,000 with the 3000X, that would be worth $3 million. Yo. That is an interesting comment, Ayok. Yeah, thank you for dropping that in there. Wow. How about turning $1,000 into $3 million? It happens in crypto. It happens.
It does. It really does. A lot of people have done that,
So we look at it. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We look at, like, I'm sure you would agree with me on this. This is how I look at crypto. Like, you have to ask yourself, what's my time horizon? Like, how many years do I have to invest this money to get a return? Like, what's my time horizon and what's my risk tolerance? Like, if I were extremely risk averse, I would not get into PulseChain. I would get into something like Bitcoin or Ethereum. But then, with Bitcoin at this point, you might get a 2x, double your money, which really, honestly, that sounds great, but I would prefer to do 1000x, okay? 3000x. Or you could get into Ethereum and you might do a triple, or maybe you might do a 5x on Ethereum at this point. But honestly, if you're going to, not financial advice, but it all depends, like I said, on your time horizon, how many years you have, and your risk tolerance.
The rule of thumb is never to invest more than you can afford to lose, because crypto is extremely, extremely risky. And also it's very volatile still. So it is something that you can put in $100,000 and the next day, literally it's worth $30,000. And so you have to be able to stomach that, and you have to be able to understand that there's a volatility that's very violent. But the flip side of that is that it can also be violent to the upside. And that's why we're all in it. So it's good to go into projects that have good fundamentals, that have a good community, and that have a good look at the chart, and then also have high liquidity. So those are some, general rules about looking at a project. But if you're new, then going into the projects that are maybe a little bit more established are probably, and with founders who are established, such as Richard Hart, then you're mitigating the risk, even though it's still risky.
Yeah. And then, what you could do is, like, what I'm thinking my buddy's going to do that I'm onboarding. He's probably going to do, he might do like a mix, like a little bit of Ethereum for long term, and then speculate on some PulseChain. And then if I think I'm very optimistic about PulseChain. Like, I'm over the moon excited about what's coming for PulseChain. I think he's going to be very happy with what happens with his PulseChain bag, assuming that he gets some. And it's going to far, far outshine his Ethereum, if he gets any Ethereum or Bitcoin or what have you.
Yeah,
But that's something that you can do is
that's
ratio.
a good strategy. Just have them put a smaller portion, smaller percentage of what they're investing into PulseChain. Just say, look at this as your lottery ticket, because it's a little bit hard at this point because the chart isn't exactly impressive because it hasn't run yet. And so it hasn't had its time yet. And so if it does, then you have a lot more upside, potential upside than you would for an Ethereum or a Bitcoin, to your point earlier, Banana. But I think that to have some exposure, just look at it as a lottery ticket and have some exposure, because if that goes, it could be way more gains than you would make with blue chips. And that is really what we're all in crypto for. And I think personally that this is the last cycle where we're going to see this kind of gains. I think going
Very
forward, it's going to
possible.
stabilize. And I think it's going to stabilize. It's going to become
Yeah.
less down, but also less up. So this is a time, I think this is the last chance in our generation, maybe in multiple lifetimes, to make money in this way. The highest appreciating asset class in the history of mankind, that is cryptocurrency. It is so crazy and people get so scared of it. I'm like, put in $1,000, put in $5,000. It's nothing. You just bought, like I have a friend who just bought a bag for $5,000. I'm like, wow, what a waste of money. You could have put that $5,000.
You mean like a bag to carry stuff in?
Yeah, like a handbag. I work in fashion, so I work in luxury, so things are really expensive. And they spent $5,000 in a handbag, and I'm like, okay, well, that's a depreciating asset. And I'm like, how stupid! Just put that money into PulseChain, because you're throwing it away anyway. Put it into PulseChain, and that could be worth, if it goes 100 times, that's $500,000.
Yeah, you could change your family history.
Yeah.
But you might just buy the handbag instead. Wow. Okay. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm over the moon excited about PulseChain and Gray's currencies. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I think we're about to wrap it up.
Okay. Well, definitely join the Telegram group. The Prairie Bananas Telegram group people are really, really nice, very knowledgeable, so helpful. It's a safe place where you can answer a lot of questions, you can ask a lot of questions, which will be answered in a very polite and correct manner. And then also, if you want to watch videos, is it Crypto with Colin? Crypto with Colin, I think.
Colin Talks Crypto?
Is it Colin Talks Crypto? That's not the M2 Money Supply guy, right?
That is.
Okay, so it's not the M2 Money Supply guy. I think it's Crypto with Colin. He's a PulseChain Crypto Coffee. Crypto Coffee does really great videos on how to buy PulseChain, and it's step by step, so you can watch it and you can pause and then go step by step. I really recommend doing that if you're new to crypto, because Prairie and I have been talking about a lot of things that you're not going to understand, and it's really easy to get scammed or get lost, or just it's a little bit hard the first time. It gets much easier after that. But if you watch a step-by-step video, I really recommend. I think Crypto Coffee is just one tried and true in the community. Definitely follow him, and he has a lot of how-to videos. Super helpful.
Yes, Crypto Coffee is great, and I'm going to be creating my own playlist too for you guys too. Like start to finish, zero to hero crypto.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's coming. All right, guys.
Okay.
Have a great weekend.
All right.
Thanks for watching.